Have you ever stared at your phone at night, wondering why she hasn't called or texted you, and felt that quiet tension in your chest asking a single question? What does this really mean? Before we go any further, if you're someone who wants clarity instead of confusion, strength instead of anxiety, and emotional control instead of overthinking, subscribe to this channel and like this video, and stay until the very end, because what you're about to hear can genuinely change the way you experience love, attraction, and your own self-respect. Now listen closely. There was a man who believed silence meant rejection. Every time his phone stayed quiet, his mind filled the gap with stories. She's losing interest. I said something wrong. There must be someone else. His emotions rose and fell with every vibration that never came, and slowly, without realizing it, he handed his inner peace to someone else's behavior. Then one day, he encountered an old Stoic idea that shattered everything he thought he knew about silence. The Stoics believed that meaning is not found in events themselves, but in the judgments we attach to them. Silence by itself means nothing. No call, no text, just absence. Yet we turn that absence into suffering by the stories we tell ourselves. So believe it or not, when she doesn't call or text you, it doesn't automatically mean disinterest. It doesn't automatically mean attraction either. It means something far more important. You are being invited to reveal who you really are. Think about this. Most men react to silence with urgency. They double text. They send long explanations. They try to fix something that may not even be broken. Why? Because silence threatens the ego. It feels like loss of control. And the ego hates uncertainty. But the Stoic man sees silence differently. He understands that what is outside his control should never disturb. What is inside his control? Her phone, her time, her emotions. Not yours to command. Your thoughts, your actions, your self-respect, fully yours. When she doesn't call or text, the first instinct is to assume it's about you. But Stoicism teaches a harsh truth that is also deeply freeing. Most things are not about you at all. She may be busy. She may be processing. She may simply be living her life. And even if she is losing interest, panicking will never reverse that outcome. Here is where the story shifts. The man who once feared silence decided to do something radical. He did nothing. No chasing, no complaining, no emotional outbursts. Instead, he turned inward. He focused on his work, his body, his purpose, his discipline. Days passed. His phone remained quiet. But something inside him changed. He realized that his worth did not rise or fall with someone else's attention. And this is where the real meaning of her silence reveals itself. When she doesn't call or text, it is a test. Not a test she consciously designed, but a natural test of emotional maturity. Will you remain grounded or will you unravel? Will you respond from strength or from fear? Women, whether they admit it or not, are highly sensitive to emotional stability. They can sense when a man's center is unshakable. Silence exposes weakness, but it also exposes strength. The Stoics often spoke about inner citadels, a place inside you that no external force can invade. When your peace depends on a text message, your citadel has already fallen. Now let's address the uncomfortable truth most people won't tell you. Sometimes when she doesn't call or text, it does mean she is unsure. It may mean she's pulling back. It may mean she's observing. And here's the paradox. The worst thing you can do in that moment is try to force certainty. Attraction grows in space, not pressure. By remaining calm, you communicate something powerful without saying a word. You communicate that your life is full, that your emotions are regulated, that you are not desperate for validation. This is not a tactic. This is a byproduct of self-mastery. Marcus Aurelius once wrote that you should not waste time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. In modern terms, don't argue with silence. Respond with character. The man in our story eventually received a message. But by then, something surprising had happened. He no longer needed it. He replied calmly, warmly, without resentment or excitement. And for the first time, the dynamic shifted. The silence that once made him weak had made him stronger. Here's the deeper lesson. When she doesn't call or text, life is showing you where your attachments are. If you feel anxious, that's information. If you feel angry, that's information. Stoicism doesn't tell you to suppress emotions, but to observe them without becoming them. Ask yourself, why does silence disturb me? Is it fear of abandonment? Fear of being unchosen? Fear of not being enough? These fears don't disappear when someone texts you. They disappear when you confront them. The Stoic man does not need constant reassurance because he reassures himself through his actions, through discipline, through purpose, through self-respect. And here's something almost no one talks about. When you don't react emotionally to silence, you become unpredictable, not in a manipulative way, but in a grounded way. You're no longer operating from scripts. You're operating from presence. That presence is magnetic. Now let's flip the perspective. Imagine she doesn't call or text and you remain composed. You don't chase. You don't withdraw in bitterness. You simply continue being who you are. What does that communicate? It communicates that you have standards, that you value mutual effort, that your attention is earned, not begged for. Stoicism is not about indifference. It's about dignity. There's a difference between not caring and caring without attachment. The Stoic man cares deeply, but he does not cling. He understands that love chosen freely is the only love worth having. And if she never texts again, then silence has given you a gift. Clarity. Better to face reality than to live in illusion. The Stoics believe that pain comes not from truth, but from resistance to truth. If someone chooses absence, accept it with grace. Walk away with your head high. This mindset transforms not just dating, but life. You stop begging for validation. You stop interpreting every delay as disaster. You stop giving strangers the power to control your mood. You become calm, observant, selective. And paradoxically, this calm often draws people back. Not because you chase them, but because you stop chasing yourself away. So believe it or not, when she doesn't call or text you, it means this. You are being given a chance to practice self-mastery, to detach from outcomes, to build an unshakable core. Silence is not the enemy. Uncontrolled emotion is. Remember, the Stoics taught that the strongest man is not the one who dominates others, but the one who dominates himself. If you can sit with uncertainty without losing your composure, you are already ahead of most people. If you can remain respectful without becoming needy, you are already rare. If you can walk away without bitterness, you are already powerful. So the next time your phone stays quiet, don't see it as rejection. See it as training. Training for emotional independence. Training for real confidence. Training for love that is chosen, not chased. And if this message resonated with you, make sure you've subscribed and liked this video, because everything on this channel is designed to sharpen your mindset and elevate your life. Have you ever caught yourself checking your phone again and again? Not because it vibrated, but because you hoped it would? And in that silence, a single thought kept echoing in your mind. Why hasn't she called or texted me? Before we go deeper, if you're someone who wants emotional strength instead of confusion, clarity instead of mixed signals, and calm instead of overthinking, subscribe to this channel and like this video, and watch this till the end, because what you're about to understand can quietly but completely change your love life. Now listen carefully. There was a time when silence felt unbearable to a man. Every unanswered message felt like a verdict on his worth. If hours passed, his mood collapsed. If days passed, his imagination tortured him. He believed silence meant rejection, and rejection meant he was not enough. Then he discovered Stoicism. The Stoics taught something radical. Events themselves are neutral. It is our interpretation that creates suffering. A phone that doesn't light up is just an object. The pain begins when the mind attaches meaning to it. So believe it or not, when she doesn't call or text you, it doesn't automatically mean she doesn't care. It means your inner world is being tested. Most men react to silence emotionally. They rush to fix it. They send another message, then another. They explain themselves, apologize for nothing, or try to force connection. Why? Because silence feels like loss of control, and the ego cannot tolerate uncertainty. But the Stoic man understands something deeper. He knows that what is outside his control should never disturb his inner balance. Her attention is not his to demand. Her time is not his to manage. What is his responsibility is his reaction. When she doesn't call or text, the average man panics. The Stoic man pauses. He observes his thoughts instead of obeying them. He notices the urge to chase, but he doesn't act on it. Not because he's playing games, but because he respects himself. And here is the uncomfortable truth. Desperation repels while self-control attracts. Silence reveals attachment. If silence makes you anxious, it shows where your emotional dependence lives. Stoicism teaches that dependence is the root of suffering. The moment your peace depends on another person's behavior, you have surrendered your power. Silence reveals attachment. If silence makes you anxious, it shows where your emotional dependence lives. Stoicism teaches that dependence is the root of suffering. The moment your peace depends on another person's behavior, you have surrendered your power. The man in this story chose a different path. Instead of staring at his phone, he turned to his purpose. He trained his body. He sharpened his mind. He built his life. Silence no longer felt like punishment. It felt like space. And something strange happened. The more grounded he became, the less he feared losing her. And the less he feared losing her, the more confident he became in himself. This is the paradox most people never understand. When she doesn't call or text, it may mean she's unsure. It may mean she's observing. It may even mean she's slowly losing interest. But no amount of chasing will ever reverse that. Attraction is not negotiated, it is felt. Pressure kills desire. Calm strengthens presence. The Stoic man doesn't beg for attention. He allows people to choose him freely, and if they don't, he accepts it without bitterness. Marcus Aurelius once wrote that you should not waste time worrying about what others think. Focus on what is right within you. In modern terms, don't argue with silence. Respond with dignity. There is a quiet confidence in not reacting, in letting people reveal their level of interest without interference. Silence becomes information, not insult. And if she eventually texts, the Stoic man doesn't punish her with coldness, nor does he reward her with desperation. He responds calmly, naturally, without resentment, because his emotions were never hostage to the outcome. And if she never texts again, then silence has done you a favor. It saved you time, energy, and illusion. The Stoics believe that clarity is always better than comfort. Losing someone who was unsure was never a loss to begin with. This mindset changes everything. You stop chasing validation. You stop overanalyzing every pause. You stop tying your self-worth to external attention. You become emotionally independent. And emotional independence is rare. When a man can sit with uncertainty without collapsing, he becomes powerful. When he can walk away without anger, he becomes respectable. When he can care without clinging, he becomes unforgettable. So believe it or not, when she doesn't call or text you, it means this. Life is offering you a lesson in self-mastery. Silence is not rejection. It is reflection. It reflects your fears, your attachments, and your discipline. And once you master silence, you master yourself. If this message resonated with you, subscribe to the channel and like this video, because everything here is designed to strengthen your mindset and elevate your life.